Welcome to Warzone Joes with Haig and Puff. On this week's episode, we're going to go over a few new things. First and foremost, the Season 5 total screw-up in my eyes and in his eyes. Trains, the stadium open, disappointing nerfs, disappointing buffs, nothing was fixed. There's new metas. Are there any? Hackers are back and in full force. Pros, disappointed, playing games that a 5-year-old are playing. The Bruin is still king, question mark. FAMAS shotgun, broken. Hit reg, is it any better, any worse? Is there anything good we can say about the game right now? Puff, how's it going? What do you got to say about that?
Cluster F is all I got to say, bud. That's all I've got to say. It is absolute mess. Absolute mess.
It is. To see the disappointment in not only us but pros. When the pros start bashing the game, it goes downhill real quick. You see a lot of drop off in playability. I mean, naturally, people are going to still play because it's free. But when they start streaming and he's got, Tim the Tatman's got 100,000 people watching him play Fall Guys. I mean, it's there's something else going on where it should not be happening.
Yeah, things are pretty. Morale's pretty low, I believe, on some fronts.
I agree. I mean, with this Season 5 coming in, I thought the Battle Pass had some cool stuff in it. I personally like the blacked out vehicle skins. I thought those were a clean look. The guns, the ISO, it's not relevant. The AN94 is not relevant. The ISO is more relevant than the AN94. I think you could get away with running the ISO. It's not quite as fast as the Vector when you're shooting it. But it doesn't have the distance nor the accuracy of the MP5. And I've tried a bunch of different combinations of attachments on it and on the MP5, on the P90 here in the beginning of this season, and I still haven't found anything that is as strong as the MP5.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I had high hopes for it. The iron sights are trash. Of course, we went through first couple of days, maxed everything out. We did not. Did you buy all? I think Mr. Official bought all the way to the AN94. I did not. I think it was the 2400 pass that you accrue whatever 1,000, then another 1,400 or whatever to get me to level 20, so I could get the ISO off the rip. And iron sights are trash. Went in, of course, immediately playing hardcore. Hit marker machine there. Definitely a hit marker machine in regular multiplayer. Still level it up, got it maxed out, that way I could do everything, thinking, well, now we may have some competition for the MP5, and I've tried it in Warzone, and I'm back to the MP5 already. I mean, we kind of walked through my class setups earlier, and I mean, every secondary for me is the MP5. I'm just back to it, which is disappointing to me because I want that variety there.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we've talked about through both episodes so far, is that both of us want to see some variety, and it's not just us. I think it's everybody in the game wants to see some variety. Let's be able to... Here's what I can bank on. I can bank on that if I somehow, I get killed off the rip and don't get brought back until later, and then when I get brought back, when we kill a team, I'm going to be able to pick up exactly what I want. I'm going to be able to pick up the strongest guns. It's going to be a Bruin or an M13, or an M4, or a Grawl. It's going to be one of those four. And I'm going to be happy with any of those four. But as for a SMG, I'm picking up an MP5. That's what's going to be laying there.
Yeah, I'm picking up an MP5. I mean, I think you had been running some P90.
I've been trying to run the P90.
What else did you say? You've been running some Uzi, trying it.
Yeah. The Uzi's got that slow. It's got that slow fire rate to it. But with that said, it does hit a little bit harder than the MP5. I think. I don't think it takes quite as many bullets. And I do think that it is a little bit harder to control recoil wise because of that. But at the same time, I think, in my opinion, right now I'm ranking them MP5, Uzi, and then I'm bringing in the P90 under that. I'm actually bringing the P90 up a little bit. I don't know if they got shadow buffed. I think there's a couple guns that got shadow buffed. Obviously, the FAMAS with the broken shotgun underneath got shadow buffed because that wasn't in there.
It just appeared today.
Yeah. So I think that confirms. I mean, we can talk about shadow buffs for a little while right now because I think that is 100% confirms that guns are shadow buffed. that stuff is tweaked without it being put in the patch notes. And I don't know if I like that or not. I'm trying to find consistency. Consistency for me means fun. When I can consistently be good at the game, that means that I have a good time playing it. But with that said, I mean, changing everything and shadow buffing stuff just kind of breaks that for me. I mean, I still think the Bruin is king. Did I lose you, Puff? Hello? Did I lose Puff? Chat, we may have lost Puff for a minute. Muted or something. So I'm gonna start talk about the Bruin being king, guys. I still think the Bruin is king. It's kind of disappointing that the Bruin is king. I think they need to add some mobility into that, or take away some mobility in that. Obviously, I think it's just the best way to do it. He must have lost internet connection there. There he is. He's back now, folks. Puff is back. We dropped off for a few seconds there. Bear with us for a second. We'll get back online here. I will say this, folks. If you want to watch us play, we do play almost nightly. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Hagewood91 /Hagewood91, sorry. You can catch Mr. Official at Mr. Official USPS, also on Twitch. There is not a night that goes by that one of us two will be on. There's some others. Fire Wifey, she's on often. Maybe I lost Puff. I'm just not hearing him. Voice connected. I'm gonna disconnect.
Together.
There we go, and we're back. I don't know what the hell happened.
I don't know what's going on with Discord.
Yeah, it was a Discord issue, folks. But I mean, I gave him a little bit of rundown on some other stuff. I think I broke off talking about the FAMAS and how it was broken and how that came out today, and that we're not real happy about that, and that we talked about some shadow stuff and how consistency with if they bring in shadow buffs and don't put them in patch notes, that I'm not real happy about it, because I like to have consistency, and consistency makes the game fun for me. And without that, I can't have fun.
Well, their patch notes have been kind of irrelevant, how they, hide the stuff and they don't put out there what they are doing, because, that first week of Season 5 we ran through, and then I could not find anything that was working for me, and so I switched back. I actually, me, I'll bash the M13 a little bit, as far as as being a marshmallow shooter, and I switched it and it seemed to be working for me. And then I run it 2 or 3 days, and then out of nowhere I start getting hit markers again with it, and so I switch to something else. And so then I got into just that vicious cycle of every match I'm switching out guns and trying something new, and then maybe with the recoil you're a little inconsistent. And so I deleted the Bruin class completely. Maybe I need to bring it back.
Yeah, probably need to bring that back.
Had high hopes for the AN94, and I know me and Mr. O run it for a little bit, and it just, I think he's still trying it a little. I tried it some the last couple of nights and wasn't doing anything, so I'm, back to the Grawl or the M4. Actually, the Kilo, we don't talk about it a lot. I like the Kilo personally. I think it's just a little bit slower bullet velocity, so I have been running to that quite often. I started running the AMAX some more. It's slappy. It really does hit hard. It's just got that slow bullet velocity, and if you can control the recoil, and it's not horrible. But it still seems like if you're going to be running around and competitive, it's a Bruin that's out there.
Yeah, I was watching Teeth a little bit today, and he was running it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's disappointing that you can tell you what's going to be the. I mean, when you're playing for thousands of dollars, you're going to use what's killing people. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter, and that's what he was running today. Now, I was surprised to not see him. I only got a little bit of action in. I only watched him and Doug for a little bit, and neither one of them was running the broke FAMAS. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see any of it. So I know I
Nick
seen Stephanie running it, but
Nick
I don't
Merckx
know if he
was.
run it during the tournament or not.
They may have banned it for the tournament, but I know Nick Merckx
They
did
may
it, used it
have.
for a little while. I mean, they do stuff like that. They'll ban stuff. Um, I know that there was talk on a couple tournaments ago of just using floor weapons.
I wonder if they went through with that or not because I didn't
No.
watch anybody. So the reason they were going to do that was because of the weapon glitch where it was just robotic looking, etc. And so I believe that was the reason they were going to go to just floor loot altogether
No,
during a tournament.
they
And I don't
didn't.
remember which tournament it was.
They did not. And on top of that, that tournament ended up being an absolute train wreck due to hackers.
Yeah.
People under the map, and the games got thrown out. I know that Tim the Tap Man actually had a game get thrown out, and they had like 50 or 60 kills. And
I seen that tweet.
that's a hot game. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a major game, and it's crazy to me that we're this far in, folks. We're in season 5 of a game that has the best potential to be the most fun battle royale game out there, hands down, period, no questions asked. And we're still running into issues like this. Guys, they're making $1 billion with a B, $1 billion a quarter in microtransactions. Fix the servers. Find a way to get rid of the hackers. Most of them are on PC. Sure, you'll run into a console hacker that, can turn his mom's blender into a console out of his basement, but still, there's a way to find a way to put these guys out of the game. It's ruining it for everybody else. It's no fun.
Well, we tried while you were out. We tried running. It was me, Bob Lee, and I think Rufus. I think we all switched over to turn crossplat off, and it would not join a match. When I say it wouldn't join a match, we would get an error message, and so it wasn't even trying to find a match. So I'm wondering if that's broke altogether. Maybe it was just a coincidence because we were thinking, well, let's try this and see if we can get away from the PC lobbies, and we couldn't even find a match, so we had to turn crossplat right back on. And of course, once we done that, we found a match immediately. But I don't.
All right,
I'm wondering if anybody
let's
else
go on a
is having
side
success
tangent
with
here
that.
and talk about crossplat for a minute. I mean, naturally, we know we use it.
Yep.
I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
But I do believe that everybody should have the option to turn it off and on. And
Yeah, because let's face it, the hackers are
anybody.
the hackers are coming from the PC group. I mean, the PC community. That's where the hackers are coming from. I mean, you don't hardly ever, if you got somebody that's questionable and you die from them, you get squad wiped, whatever, and you spectate for a moment, you can pick up pretty quick if they're hacking or not, and then you can almost be certain when you go back and check to see what they were playing on. Were they on console or were they on PC? We run into well, all right. So you had as soon as season 5 dropped, it seemed like the hackers for us had fell off. We weren't running into as many. I don't know what
at the beginning of season 5 or at the end of season 4.
Well, probably the end of season 4.
Yeah, I agree.
So when we had I don't know what you want to call the gun glitch, if that's just what you want to call it, the gun glitch. But while that was going on, we didn't seem to have any hackers. And as soon as that patch went in, I don't know when they patched that. One day it may have been Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I know Saturday night we run into several hackers.
Okay, it was Friday. It was Friday night because I was playing with Bob Lee, and
yeah,
Bob Lee and I were played up until about 2:15, 2:30 that morning. And the reason why we got off is because it kicked him out, and he had an update. Oh, I can't believe I didn't even think to put this in our notes to talk about because, guys, I'm about to laugh, about to hearty laugh. Okay, so he had an update. He's on PS4, folks. It was like 1 point.
Yeah, it was like 1.13. It was something.
Okay. Then I had an update. Mine was 1.88 or something like that for PC, and then Xbox. Good old Xbox. 66 gigs.
I mean, those guys were raging. And I don't blame them. I mean,
66 gigs, folks. That is insane.
I'd have just uninstalled, dude.
Oh man, Puff, I've
even
uninstalled this game before. I've taken, as much as I love this game, I have uninstalled it before because it is so frustrating when something doesn't work the way it's supposed to. I turned it off. I played Fortnite for 3 months.
The PS4, with that small update or the small patch, copying the files. Now I done it overnight, so or the early the next morning while I was at work, so I didn't have to experience any of it. I know Mr. Official, it took him a while to get it finished. I think Wormy, it took him a while to get finished, and then after everybody kind of got off Saturday night, Rufus jumped in, and I'm talking, it was late. It was like 1 o'clock, and he jumped in Discord, and we were like, you getting in or what's going on? And he's like, well, I'm still copying, and no, he's got fiber. So I know that has nothing necessarily to do with the internet speed. So
yeah, it's not really. That's just a PS4 kind of deal.
let's hope the next gen consoles they go away from some of this crap.
Who cares?
I'll also tell you this, and this is a little side topic. So anyway, of course, Olivia, this week we moved her out of the apartment, so I lost my fiber internet, and I went ahead and, of course, updating the PC. Just everything that I could update, I did. I went ahead and bought Modern Warfare for the PC, and since let me tell you, my PC is buggy now. I mean, it is slow, and I'm like, what is going on? So I was telling Mr. O, I was like, don't put this, don't download that on the PC. I was like, because I don't know what happened. It eventually seemed like it cleaned itself up a little bit, but it was miserable loading going into BattleNet and just getting in, and it would freeze. And I wasn't having any of those problems until I downloaded the multiplayer. And I just downloaded it. That way I had that option for the PC, and because right now I've not got that set up built yet. But so I'm back on console, and I don't know how long I can do console before I go back to PC.
Dude, PC's so buttery smooth, folks. If you haven't played on PC, people always talk about PC Master Race this, PC Master Race that. Let me tell you something. It's not a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
PC is 100% so much smoother if you're going to play in 1080. If you're going to play in 4K, you better pony up because it's going to be expensive. But
yep.
It still would be, my setup will still run 4K smoother than any console out there. But I mean, I wish we could find a silver lining in season 5. I wish we could all agree that they did something right. That stadium was cool. Guess what? Everybody dropped there for 3 games apiece, and then they went back to dropping wherever the hell they were dropping because it was irrelevant. Why is every change they make irrelevant? It's very
You're right
frustrating.
about the irrelevant part because we played, I guess it was Saturday night, didn't play last night, and I went and I bought somebody back right there at one of the buy boxes at Stadium, and Mr. Official, he's like, go in the doors, and I completely forgot you could even go inside Stadium. I mean, I was like, crap, I forgot you can go in there. So, of course, we went in there and milled around for a minute, then come back out, and that was about it. It was kind of pointless to me. I think it's more for the rumor that live event's going to happen at Stadium. That's why it's there. And I'm torn on. Are they spending all
their time on that? Is that what they're doing? Are they spending all their time and effort on worrying about some stupid live event rather than making sure the game is playable?
I think they're spending most of their time on these stupid Easter eggs that I could care less about. Just show us the game already. Show us the next COD game. I don't care about codes and bunkers and all of that. I know a lot of people do, and hey, if that gets you off, more power to you. But I'm tired of seeing about it, tired of reading about it. It's overrated. Just show us the darn game.
Yeah, and the thing is the bunkers are. I mean, we went through a period of time there in season 4 when they first introduced the bunkers, where you could find an access key, you could go to a bunker. It was a nice way to get a bunch of cash, catch a few armor boxes, catch a satchel or two, maybe an airstrike or a cluster strike or, some kind of kill streak. It was nice to go that, or you could watch vehicles and you knew that if you saw a vehicle that was streaking across the map to the middle of nowhere, that there's probably a team going to that bunker, and, that would engage fights. So I like the idea of the bunkers being there to engage fights, because that's what a battle royale is all about. We don't want everybody just sneaking around, being little rats in buildings. We need engaged fights. And the most frustrating thing with engaged fights is getting third party, and that's just a part of battle royales. You can't get around it, but the engagement of the fights have to happen. I think the bunkers are good for that. I think not necessarily, I'm not talking about the Easter eggs. I agree with you on the Easter eggs. Like, I could care less. I don't want to have to learn Russian to do something or anything like that to learn an Easter egg. Now, do I like some cool stuff, some bunkers, and some neat things put in the game that are different. Yeah, I like that. I'll say I like that. But I do not like the fact that we're spending time on those, making sure that those are all pretty, and not fixing, this porcupine sea urchin gun glitch.
Yeah, I mean, have they? I don't understand, and we talked about it the other day that if while they're coding, and this is just purely speculation on our part, if one number is messed up, it can throw all kind of kinks in the system. I mean, is that the issue? I'm not.
It's gotta be.
I don't know. But how does every patch that they release or update, there is something fundamentally screwed up? I don't know.
I think the stuff they add in just changes the base code, just tweaks it just a little bit. Which we can go back to what we were saying about hackers, which allows hackers to find new ways to get in to promote their hacks. Have you ever looked up how much it costs these hackers to hack this game?
I've heard about it. I think it's a monthly charge.
It is a monthly charge of $130 plus.
Yeah, man, you gotta. I mean, I seen it. Talking about hackers, I seen somebody on Twitter. I think it was Bobby Poff,
the Scarford himself.
He had a hack. Somebody was hacking in Fall Guys. Yeah, I mean, hacking in Fall Guys. I mean, Bob Lee's trying to get me and Mr. O to download the game. I'm like, dude, I just can't do it. I just can't download it.
Is it cross-plat or do you know?
He said it's not cross-plat. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I haven't. I mean, I've watched a couple of the guys play it, but I think it's more for humor than anything. But,
it's hilarious.
I mean,
it's hilarious.
I mean, and the thing about it is they're going hard over there too. You know what I'm saying? Like, boys, just chill a little bit. You don't have to go hard on Fall Guys.
When did every game ever become the sweatiest of sweats to play? Like, when did we get away from button mashing against each other in Mortal Kombat to having to literally put days, hours, weeks, months into a game to even be relevant at all? I don't know when we got away from just being able to relax and play.
It's got to be the monetary value. It's where people are making bank, playing a video game all day. And so you've not only that, their sweats, or pros, whatever you want to call them. And then you've got everybody else it's extremely popular. They're sitting around watching them, and they're, instead of being Michael Jordan, they want to be Tyler TP. And so they scuff controllers, Battle Beaver controllers, Cinch controllers. Everybody's got paddles. Everybody's slide canceling. Everybody's jumping around corners. I remember back in the day when the drop shot was the thing. You don't hardly ever see that anymore. But
I'll bring back the
everybody
drop shot any day.
A pure sweat, and it takes a lot. It takes some of the enjoyment out of it. Which we can all blame that on skill-based matchmaking. In my opinion, it shouldn't be there. It should not exist. It should not exist. Not for what we're wanting to do. I think our little group is pretty competitive. Of course, we're wanting to get high kills and get wins, etc. But every now and then, just running around goofing off is fine as well. And you can't do that anymore.
No, it's impossible to do that.
You better land down and get you some, gamer goo or whatever everybody uses to put on their hands to make them a little sticky and get ready.
Now, I will say this. You brought up a good point. You said people are watching TP and they want to be a TP rather than Michael Jordan. Here's where I'm gonna contradict you on that. Is not everybody can be a Michael Jordan.
No, you're right.
But why is it that there's millions of kids that apparently can be a Tyler TP?
I don't know. Maybe we're just that bad, dude.
I don't think we're that bad. Look at our stats, though. We're in the top 1%. We're in the top 1%, folks. And in some instances, we're in the top 0%. I've got some stats that are in the top 0%, which means it is less than 1%. It'll say it, top 0. Go in the stats, go to barracks, go to combat records. Look at your stats, folks. If you are in the top 1%, I want you to come follow our Discord. Come into the live stream when we do these podcasts and talk to us on here. We'll talk to you about stuff.
Absolutely.
We love to generate questions and stuff like that. We love to interact with chat. We want to know what y'all want to talk about. So feel free to hop in. You can find me at twitch.tv/Hagewood91. That's twitch.tv/HAGEWOOD91. And you can find our Discords there. We have both of the Discords. I can put them in chat. I think it's also in my bio. Both of them are in my bio, so you can find us there. Come in our Discord and give us some questions. We'll go over them on the next episode of Warzone Joe's. But
back to I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just sweaty all the time. There's a couple of guys at work. They, surprisingly enough, they enjoy Plunder. They stay at Plunder because they have more fun in Plunder than they can. It doesn't seem to be as sweaty as with just regular Warzone. So,
but with that said, I mean, it's not a battle royale to me. I don't like.
No, it's not. I mean, no, it's not.
I don't like being able to come to die and come back. You know, I want to fight for my life. I want it to be a struggle. I want those 20 kill games are so rewarding that you literally just took a dump on a fifth of the lobby, or I guess it's almost as, fifth of the lobby.
Yeah, let's not do math. It's just too late for math.
It is.
It's too late for math.
But
the Gulag. All right, so let's go to a positive right quick. Yeah, I think it's a positive that happened right off the bat. They changed the Gulag. We went back to pistols and shotguns. Now this week or late last week, we're back to freaking snipers. So and I'm like, and now I think it's supposed to change weekly, which I'm fine with.
I think it's a rotation. Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's a rotation.
My success rate with pistols and shotguns, I mean, I would say I'd win 8 out of 10. And with snipers, I don't know that I've won 2 in the last 3 or 4 nights. I mean, I just get wrecked in there.
I think it's even, like today, it wasn't just snipers, but it was, I think there was some SKS action in there. I think there was the EBR, which is a marksman, I guess. I have not seen the Dragunov. I think they've taken the Dragunov out.
Yeah, Thank God, I've not seen the Dragunov.
That was the worst. Well, Fist, Rocky Balboa, Rambo was the worst.
I'd rather go full Rocky on somebody than that Dragunov, or even the Rytech. I hate the Rytech.
Rytech, golly. Is that still even in the game?
I guess there's still hope that mid-season they're going to drop the R700, which, you know, I'm not a sniper, but I'm kind of looking forward to that, if that's actually coming.
I think that's a nostalgia thing for us. I really do. It
probably is. It's more nostalgia since that's, you know, an old school gun that we played with years ago. But, I mean, you know, in our notes, we've got, you know, I've got the hit rig. They need to fix the hit rig and any of the stairwells, any kind of railing that's there. You seem to get no hit rig at all.
I feel like the upper person, the higher the person is shooting down, it works better. If you're the one shooting up into the railing, it's almost like it's an axis issue where the angle that you're shooting at, you're catching the front of the wall. It's counting it as a wall. Okay, it is a wall bangable wall, but you're catching the front portion of that wall into the back portion of the wall, which cancels it out. You know, they're saying that you can only shoot through one pane or one field of wall. And I think that when you're on that low access shooting at the steep angle up, that you're catching both sides of the wall, and I think it's counting it as 2. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with that. But it's been a problem since launch, though. It's not something that's new.
Yeah, no,
we've fussed about that since the beginning of it. You know, in my opinion, the AN94, I was looking forward to it. Of course, maxed it out. It's the same setup as generally all the ARs: long barrel, monolithic, extended mag, some kind of foregrip, and then the iron sights are garbage in my opinion there. So I'm either going to run some kind of a VOK. I've been tinkering with some red dots and hollows and things of that nature to see if I can get something more consistent there, and I just can't. So I've kind of.
What do you think about, you know, being able to change the iron sights?
Oh, I wish you could. I would say I would run iron sights on everything if they all had the Archangel barrel like the girl.
It's the best. I would never go to anything else. There would be no reason to go to anything else. Other than sight picture, you know, wanting to see a little bit further, because there is in Warzone, the map is so large that you do want a little, you know, you could argue that some zoom in on your optics would be better, so you can take those longer engagements. Again, that depends on your playstyle. If you're somebody who likes longer engagements, then yeah, you might like the VLK. I am personally stuck on the VLK.
Yep.
I've got it. I've got to where I've dialed it in. I've dialed in the recoil on it, and I enjoy it. And now I'm back to that same thing. There is no variety. I'm running it on everything. AR, every LMG with the same sight on it. But at the same time, that is consistency for me. So I'm not gonna bash that.
No, the only gripe I had on the only gripe I have on the sites are the reticles. I don't need 60 different reticles. Well, let me rephrase that. Okay, if you want to give us 60 different reticles to play with, fine, but make them unlockable for every reticle. I mean, I run just the standard on the VLK. I think it's the third unlock reticle, just the black crosshairs. I don't want any red dot. Fine, whatever. That's just my preference. I'm fine with that on my anything that gives you any kind of magnification. But so while I've been running these hollows and just the regular red dots, you get in there. I personally do not care for like the circle with the little red dot in the middle, or
that's
unlock
on
it all across the
Cronin,
board.
right? That's on the Cronin.
Yes, I think it's either the Cronin or the one of the two. The hybrid, I think you can run the same reticle that the VOK can, but I think it's the regular Cronin that gives you a 3.5 magnification. It does not have that option for reticle there, and I don't understand.
Because I think you and I are both using the same reticle across the board on the Graw, Bruin, MP4. Is it just that black, just the black crosshair?
Yeah, just the black crosshair.
Yeah, that's
kind of
a
old World War II look in a sense.
Yeah, it's just basic.
Nothing special. Yeah, just basic, just simply basic.
Now the stock VOK is not bad with just the red dot in the middle.
It's not. It's actually pretty good. It would be my second pick over all of them.
Yep, me too.
That would be my second pick. But the N94, depending on what you're playing, of course, I probably play a mix. I know you do as well, but I will dabble with the multiplayer still quite a bit, especially if nobody's on, and I don't want to play solos on Warzone, so I'll dabble in the multiplayer. The N94, unless you're playing hardcore, it's a hit marker machine. So I'm disappointed with that. I'm looking for something that just can compete with everything else, and that's not out there. That variety's not out there. Did you know that they added another barrel to the Grawl that they didn't tell anybody about? Did you realize that?
I did not, because I haven't changed my Grawl.
All right, so I'm assuming that other people probably already know about it, but I've got mine pulled up right quick, so I'll go over here and give you the name of it. It's the FSS 11.8-inch Squall barrel. I do not have it unlocked. You got to get 3-point blank kills in 5 different matches, whatever. I of course have not gotten it unlocked because I'm not. I cannot comment on how it would run. I mean it's just it's just a small barrel. I don't know why was that not in the patch notes.
Yeah, I mean, why would they not? You made something new. Like promote it. Promote your stuff.
Yeah, put it in the patch notes. I mean,
their patch notes are so basic. Like who writes these patch notes?
The visuals of it are pretty neat. I mean, it looks pretty cool. But outside of that, I don't know that it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be worth any value in Warzone. I mean, period. It's not going to have any value there at all.
Let me ask you this: has anything been added to Warzone that makes Warzone a better game?
No. That's where I was fixing to ask you. Do you still think that they're appealing? And I'm not opposed to this. I'm not against it. Do you still think they're appealing to a lot of the multiplayer guys versus Warzone? I don't. That's a question. I mean, because I can see this barrel maybe being relevant, and I may go unlock it tonight. I don't know. It may be relevant in multiplayer, but it's not going to be in Warzone. Not the way that game's playing.
Yeah, I mean,
and you guys will face it. They have already said, of course, we listen to a variety of podcasts, listen to a variety of different things about this particular topic. And another question was out there, well, that new BR Warzone's going to be dead. And from all the research I've done, Warzone's not going anywhere. Whatever this new Black Ops, Cold War, whatever, Von Dykstra, whatever it's going to be, they're going to implement their stuff inside of Warzone. So the mechanics are, you know, you can't tell me that the mechanics are fixing to change. Slide canceling is going to change all the mechanics. You can't tell me that we're going to have the same game just with Black Ops stuff put inside it. I mean, I do not see them. They're not going to scratch the map. We may get a new map, which I'm hoping for, but they're not going to scratch this map. Think of all the time, effort, and money that they've got put in it. This map's here. It's they may make changes to it. I do not believe we're going to see a Blackout 2, if that's what you want to call it. I do not believe we're going to see that. I may be wrong, but I just don't. And that's back to the Easter eggs. I'm tired of the Easter eggs. Just show us the game already.
But with that said, I mean, so we're gonna see, and I agree with you. I've done my research as well. I've seen a lot of that stuff where, they're gonna say they're just gonna implement, they're gonna move forward and use Warzone, and I think a lot of that is it's free to play, and I think that they found out after making $1 billion every quarter that free to play is the way to go. They're gonna make more money.
You know what? We've had this topic not on the podcast, but we've had this topic amongst ourselves. I think we all kind of got a little tired. I know myself did, that you finally do get a game that you're enjoying, and then in 12 months, it's gone, it's dead, it's over with.
No, yeah, we've definitely talked about that, and we agree.
I like the fact that Warzone's going to keep going, but I want to see some progression and see it get better. Right now, I mean, this by far has to be probably the glitchiest season so far. Maybe I'm forgetting something.
No,
I know y'all didn't experience the glitch as much as I did, and some people were saying, well, maybe it's your gamer tag. Well, I'm playing on PC and console, so
why would a gamer tag have anything to do with it?
Yeah, I don't know where that thought process come from. So I was getting the glitch on both sides. And that, I mean, I never got, a lot of people were saying, well, it has to do with people coming out of the gulag is where the glitch is starting from. Bull crap. We could, we'll kill somebody off the rip, I'll reach down, grab their loadout, whatever, and it would be glitched for me. So I'm glad to see that fixed. I know the gas mask glitch, we were talking about it. I've not personally run into it. I know we've seen it on Twitter.
I haven't ran into it personally as well.
I haven't run into it. Also, another note that I don't think people have realized, that we realized it took us a game or two. The first ring, you better be inside of the gas. If you're not, you're screwed.
I think they've upped the damage.
Yeah,
considerably.
I think they upped the damage, and they also upped the speed of the ring movement. And Circle 2 is now, that timer is not as long, which I kind of like. Have you played Mini Royale at all?
No, I haven't.
You need to try it. We've enjoyed it. We've not quite figured out the drops, because you start on Circle 2, and so they give you your drop just immediately. As soon as that closes, they give you your drop. And so we haven't quite figured out where, it kind of is randomness. I know based on like if you look on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, of your squad, whoever has the star by their name is technically where the loadout is going to drop closest to.
Yeah.
And
that's something that most people might not know. And so, folks, if you didn't know that, if you'll pay attention to the bottom left of your screen when you're playing, whoever has the stars where the loadout will drop.
Yeah, that's who that's going to drop closest to. Now, in the Mini Royale, that is different. It does not seem to function the same way as it does in the regular BR. It will drop inside the second ring, and it doesn't, of course. I mean, generally, Saturday night when we was playing it, it was dropping anywhere from 300 to 400 meters away from us.
300 to 400 meters?
Yes, yeah, because we quit playing because we was like, well, we don't understand. Of course, somebody's gating you out of because it's going to drop multiple boxes right there, because I think the player base is 75. It's cut in half, and so generally. We're going to land outside the circle a little bit, load up, try to get a few things, and then push into circle, and it's dropping all over the place. It is not dropping remotely close to us at all. And so we were like, why is that? Is that a glitch? Is that just because we had played it the first week that it come out, and we weren't having that issue? It was dropping right there close to us.
That is
and so
I
don't
weird.
know if that's something they changed. I don't know if that's something they changed, but we have died. Generally, never do we die to the storm, hardly ever. But I know over the last week, we just were not thinking. We were engaged in, a fight with somebody, and the ring would catch us and smoke us, and we could not outrun it. I'm talking.
I'm not mad about that though.
No, I'm actually not. So you got to pay a little bit closer attention to that now. But you know what? It also, and if the start of the match and the ring has a weird location, it does kind of limit a little bit of the being able to fall out of ring and go load up and try to get your load out because that ring's moving so fast. Now you still got your standard 3 minutes before it closes, but when she closes, you better be paying attention or
Better
you'll
be
be
on your
going to the
horse.
gulag.
Better be on your horse.
Yes, you better be on your horse. That's a fact.
You brought up the mini royale. I'm gonna touch base on this for a few minutes. What about game modes? The putting in the new game modes. Do you think that's a good idea? Bad idea? Do you think that they should devote more time to actually fixing the main game modes rather than add new ones in? Do you think that they should continue to do that? What would you like to see?
I would prefer to see the overall picture get fixed before they start, adding different game modes in. I preferred. We talked about it Saturday night. We would like to see a stimulus quads. I I know it's a personal opinion, but I hate the gulag, man. I hate the gulag. I'd rather just be dead than have to go to the gulag. And I think some of that hate has come from the stupid snipers and being right back in it because I was, back to being a little confident with the pistols and the shotguns, and now it's back to sniping. And I just hate the gulag. And I think it's buggy if you think about it. It can be buggy in there. I can one shot somebody with a car 98 in the face and get a hit marker, and then they one shot me. I'm thinking
in the leg.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, what the crap? And so, but the different game modes, I like that. I think it gives people a variety. It keeps things fresh, but I think they can go a little too far. The mini royale's not bad. I know neither of us played the Juggernaut. I personally did. I don't know if you did or not.
No, I did not.
I didn't play Juggernaut. We generally are playing quads, trios, duos, and I avoid solos like the Black Plague. I just do not want to. I enjoyed solos thoroughly in Blackout. I really enjoyed solos. I do not want to play solos over here. It's just too campy. It's just too campy for me. I mean, in the mini royale seems to speed everything up, and so you don't have maybe that time to get in a corner and put up a barricade and mount it. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I mean, of course,
how many people are in this mini royale?
I think it's 75. I think the lobby's cut in half. It's not a full lobby. It's only 75. It's definitely cut completely in half.
But still a full map.
Yeah, it's still a full map, but the ring is kind of cut off, so you got to envision it like the first ring is already there, so some of the map is already covered in gas, and so you can't just land anywhere. So I mean, it's kind of the first ring is already closed, and that's what you're falling into, and so you may fall in, and 3/4 of the map is already in the gas, and so you can't land there. Period. And so it just consolidates everything.
It limits your map. It limits the map.
Yeah, it does. It consolidates the map down. Which we've kind of enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind seeing it in quads, but I don't know how those numbers would work if they would have to bump it up to 100 or whatever. But kind of makes the action a little faster. Definitely makes the action a little faster, happens a little quicker.
I think that a little bit of the storm tweaking on the main game, I think that's good. So
yeah, that's I look at that as a positive.
I look at it. I'm sad that I'm saying this, but I am struggling to find positives, and I want to. I want to find positives. I want to be.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
I want to be happy. Here's one that I ran into the other day. Was what gun, if you could make any gun relevant, and I'm fairly certain I know your answer. If it's not your answer, then I'm gonna be shocked. What gun would you like to see the most relevant that hasn't been relevant at all, period? And I'm talking about AR.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think I want to say M4, but that's not. Let me hold on. I've got it pulled up, so let me go down through here and look. That way I can give you an honest answer.
I mean, the M4 has been semi-relevant at some point. I'm talking about a gun.
The AK-47.
Boom, that's it. AK-47. That was gonna be my number one. Guess what I died to 4 times last night?
Hacker.
Well, no. AK-47.
We did as well. We have some this weekend.
No recoil.
Yep. Yeah, we run into.
Do I need to make a class? Is that a possible new meta, or do you think it's hackers?
I think it's hackers, dude. I don't see because I'd be running it. I mean, it slaps. I mean, but the bullet reg is so slow that you get wrecked extremely fast. But I think it needs a buff overall. But I don't want one gun to be the meta. I don't want one gun to be. If you're an
It's
M13
gonna be
guy,
though.
I want you to be able to. I want you to be able to run an M13. If you want to run a freaking kilo, run it. Uh, I understand that there's got to be weapon balances, but I mean, I never dreamed that an underbarrel attachment would be a new meta now. I never dreamed that. I
I'm
mean, we
telling
all
you.
thought it was going to be the Holger.
I'm telling you, that's a disgruntled employee putting that code in.
I mean, I agree with you. You got to be right. If somebody's pissed, you
Somebody's
can't. We bash Infinity Ward, but think of the pressure that they're probably put under from Activision to pump this stuff out just to generate the income. They don't care about you or me or any of the community for that matter. They are just simply trying to generate income, and it's just a greed factor in my opinion. It's a greed factor that they're.
when I think that if they would just make it right, that they would make more income. They would do better. They would.
Yeah, they would.
Like,
I mean, because I told you before we started the podcast that I'm struggling right now. Now, granted, some of it has to do with the move and the internet provider that I have, so I'm having some internet issues, but I'm struggling to have a desire to play it right now. I mean, I'm considering, looking at some other. I'm not playing Fall Guys. I say
you're
that
gonna
and I'll
play
download
it.
it tonight.
You're gonna play it. You're gonna, and guess what, folks?
What is it? Road Company.
I downloaded Road Company. I have it.
So people have been talking about Road Company.
Haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it yet. I've not downloaded it, but I'm going to.
We may be the Road Co Joes. If they keep this up, folks, we might be Road Co Joes. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm looking for reasons to, some of the other podcasts that I listen to, and they're no different from us. They bash the game. They bash it. They generally don't have anything positive to say, and that's unfortunate.
Sad. It's so sad.
Now, let me ask you this: Do you think CDL plays a factor in the weapon balancing at all? Do you
Yes.
think the COD League that where the MP5 is so dominant, and then over there they're generally banging out the M4? Is that the reason those particular two are? I mean, well, I say the M4. I'm not seeing it much in Warzone right now. I think everybody's just kind of going with the meta, but I still think it's probably. I watched a video of Will Exclusive Ace top 5 ARs in season 5, and I think his number 5. What was it? It was the Kilo. Number 4 was the Grawl. 3 was the Bruin. 4 was the AMAX or the Galil, and his overall, still just overall, all things took into consideration was the M4, which I was a little shocked by. And then his, if he said if I was going to have a 6th pick, he said it would be the M13. He actually said he prefers it, he enjoys it, but he just based on all his tests that he's
putting the Galil over the M13 is just.
Yeah.
I disagree
back
with
to
that.
running the. I've been back to run. I've run it. I've been back to running the Grawl more. I think they've started to buff some of the range on everything, so maybe we're having to adjust to the range. You can't touch out there at 150 meters, and start, just blaze away at people and get the knocks and finish them that way. Maybe they're trying to tighten that up to be a little bit tighter, closer gun battles.
Do you think that they should do that? I mean, Warzone's a massive map. If they do that, it'll make snipers more relevant, which I'm okay with. But at the same time, it's all a balance. Everything is a balance in this game, and they've just got the balance one-sided. It's very, very geared towards building rats and campers and people who like close, shoot fast, hide.
Multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer action, and this is not a multiplayer game. It's a massive map. I think, was it season? I mean, I know we played the hell out of it in season 1, and then season 2 we played pretty much, and season 3 you guys continue to play, and I uninstalled it because I was so pissed.
Yeah.
And then I came back in season 4, caught back up. So with that said, we've seen a big meta change from season 1, where it was thermal snipers and M4, M13. And you actually didn't run into a lot of people running SMGs. I mean,
No, it was a lot of thermal, a lot of glare running around.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like
everybody's
a nice
running. It
Taylor
forced
Swift
everybody to run
concert.
cold-blooded, and now that's changed. And so,
yeah, I'm not running it anymore.
I'm running EOD. You still don't want to get me on the trophy system in a vehicle. That still pisses me off.
I've come to the conclusion they're not going to change it. They're not going to change that.
Yeah, no, they're not changing it. They're going to just let it be for an infinite timing. Just put a trophy system on a vehicle and run people over. Have fun playing Call of Duty Mario Kart. I mean, that's basically what you got. Take the trophy systems. I'm not saying take them out of the game, but you know what a trophy system actually allows? It allows somebody to go upstairs in a building, get in a corner, pop a trophy system down.
Hey, you can't hear unless you're really, really, really close.
Yeah, you can't hear, and you throw a C4 up there, and poof, like a little cloud of dust, it disappears, and no damage at all. I'm fine with the trophy system blocking an explosive, but make it 2 at the most. I mean, make it 2 at the most, and then they got to fight. They got to come out of their corner. They got to come out of their little hole and engage somebody versus just sitting up there kneeled, waiting for you to come up the stairs. Because season 1 it was the RPGs. I mean, maybe that's why they buffed. Maybe that's why they buffed the time on the trophy system. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if there's been a shadow buff or not. Yeah, I don't know if there's been a shadow buff or not, but the RPGs are pretty back to, you get clipped with one, you're down. I mean, because I kind of changed how I was playing because I was inconsistent. My KD's dropping, my stats are dropping. And so I started, instead of getting overkill class right off the rip, I started grabbing ghosts with an RPG, and I was having luck downing people, put it at their feet, and it would down them. Which, really and truly, I think you should be able to do that with an RPG, because let's go back to the development of this game. They supposedly, quote unquote, brought Navy SEALs in, and they were trying to go for as realistic as possible. And now maybe you shouldn't be able to carry a bag full of RPGs. You shouldn't be able to carry 35 of the things, but maybe make them a lot more inaccurate. When you shoot them, they're going to come out like a freaking bottle rocket on the 4th of July. You don't know where the thing's going to go. Maybe they shouldn't shoot lasers.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what an RPG, how accurate it is in real life. I don't either.
But be honest with you, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But is this now? We've had 2 weeks of season 5. Is this the meta? The underbarrel shotgun? Is that the meta?
It will be.
I don't know. I mean, maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll find out.
It will be for the next couple of weeks. I mean, folks, if you haven't seen it, look up Nick Merckx. I know he posted a clip on it.
Let's see how much the battle pass has got. We've got 41 days left, so we've got another.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second, though. Why is that so long?
Yeah, I don't know.
Casual. I'm talking about somebody who gets on and plays a game or 2. Will max that pass out.
Battle pass.
No, they will.
Oh yeah, they will. Well, I don't know. You take somebody like Worm that would you consider him casual? I mean,
less than casual.
Yeah, less than casual. He doesn't play as, probably as much as a casual person.
I'm talking about somebody who gets on every night. They're a casual player, but only plays, 1 to 2 to 3 games. That's it. About an hour.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going.
They'll max it out long before.
Maybe it's just content, but I mean, if you go through the battle pass, I'm going through here cleaning out some of these green dots that I cannot stand.
It should have a
calling card.
Is it not a button to clear all indicators?
Yeah, I can hit R3, I believe, and clear all indicators. But I mean, if you go through the battle pass, I mean, was there anything in there that excited you about unlocking, except for the AN94 and the ISO?
No, I'm literally spending $24
for nothing
to get 2 new guns.
Yeah, to get two guns. So, and actually, if I understand correctly, that you don't even have to pay for the battle pass. You can still unlock those by just doing challenges. After the battle pass is over with. I'm pretty sure you can go, because you take like Worm for an example. He's not battle pass period, and we finally went through and grinded multiplayer here 2 or 3 weeks ago when they had shipment 24/7. That way he could unlock the Bruin,
But the Bruin wasn't a battle pass weapon.
Was it not? Was the Galil about it? The Galil, not the Galil. The Grawl, was it Battle Pass or not? I can't remember.
No, it was not a battle pass weapon.
All right, so it may be.
These are weapons they added in, but at the same time they didn't cost money. They added them in, made them challenges to unlock, but they weren't. You know, the Galil, the ISO, the AN-94, and the Vector. Those are all battle pass weapons. That's the only 4 battle pass.
What about the Holger?
I'm fairly certain it's not. I unlocked it.
Yeah, I mean I've got it unlocked. I just can't. I can't.
I mean I think it was just a challenge deal. I mean they added in a new weapon and for challenges and that just happened to be how you got it. I don't think they were battle pass. Guys, if you're in chat, if you're in my live chat right now, do you know if that's the case?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can also touch base on something that they did that I do like. We talked about we talked about rat campers and people. They took a lot of the building top rats away by putting those ropes up.
The zip lines. Yeah.
Do I think that it combats it great? No. But I think it makes them think twice before hopping up there. That hey, now I can't just watch one staircase. I've got to watch 2 areas.
It gives you they've got multiple areas to watch. Yeah.
The issue with using zip lines or elevators or anything is that split second delay. Or not, it's worse than split second. But it's that delay from getting off the zip line or getting out of the elevator that they already see you. You're just standing there with your dick in your hand, just with nothing to do. Sorry for my language, but that's what you're doing. You're standing there just waiting to get bashed, and you can't do nothing.
Yeah,
you can't move.
They probably should have changed that a little bit. I mean, I don't understand. And then I'm going through the battle pass right now. Like you unlock the company's might, which is a variant of the AN-94 on. Let's see, it is when you get to 100. It's one of the bonus items you get. I mean, really, it's just a black AN-94. I mean, it's got a commando.
Very basic. A lot of the ones on here. This was the Shadow
Company.
Yeah, Shadow Company. I mean, I feel like that was an easy way out of not having to come up with new stuff. TP will be the first pro that bashes the hell out of their battle pass stuff. He's like, this is trash.
Yeah, and it pretty much so is trash.
But you know, they got us all buying it. I bought it. You bought it. Jimmy bought it. You know.
Yeah. I got 4,300 sitting right now, waiting on the next one. Actually, I'm still waiting on that next operator. So
guys, we need you to like our content, to follow our content, subscribe to our content, so that we don't feel bad about buying it. So that way we can talk about it with you. That's the way this works.
I mean, they do have some, some of the new operators are decent. I mean, all my operators now, I'm running the Mill Slim characters. Which, I mean, of course, that doesn't affect the game at all. But I'm running Mill Slim. I'm not running any of the characters that they've dropped. I'm my
guy. That's who I am. I pick one guy. That's me.
Yeah, I give you that. You stayed with him. That's for sure.
That's my guy.
You stayed with him. That's a fact. That's for sure. Let's look. What else you got on your notes? I mean, we went through the season 5 thoughts. I mean, we're halfway through, really. So, I mean, I guess we've got 41 days for it. With 41 days, they're not going to do anything drastic. You're going to get a character drop.
Let's leave it on the theory, folks. I want y'all, if y'all are listening to this, once again, you can come into the Discord. You can talk to us in Discord. We'll be in there. We check it daily, multiple times sometimes. But let's leave it with a theory. Okay. So any of y'all who follow any pros or don't follow any pros, if you've got Twitter, if you've got YouTube or whatever, you can look up Doug is Raw. Doug is a very dry character. He's a good video game player. Some of the best movement out of anybody I've ever seen, period.
Absolutely.
That is where I think he really got his shining in Blackout. And with that said, he did such a great job at Blackout that now he is up to like what, 10, 12,000 subs? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
he's
somewhere.
consistent. I got between right at 2K a day watching him.
Yeah, I mean that's really big numbers, folks. Anyways, Doug is Raw. You can look him up. That's all his socials is Doug is Raw, and he has a theory that when you build a class in Warzone, whether it be an SMG and an RPG, or an SMG and a sniper, an AR and a sniper, no matter what you put in, what you pick is what you're up against. And Puff's the one that brought this up to me, and so I'm gonna start paying attention to it more. If you want to elaborate on that,
I've had too many. I find the theory. I want to argue it with him. I would love to have the conversation and argue with him. But the more and more I play, the more I think he's got some substance to it. Because I have not played with the AMAX / Galil in a while. And so after watching that video that I told you, the exclusive ace in the top 5 ARs for season 5, I was like, all right, I'm gonna set up another AMAX and start running it with a red dot. And so I hadn't run it in months, man. I say months, it hadn't been out months, but I haven't run it in weeks for sure. And so I guess it was Thursday or Friday night, we run it. And I run one match with it, didn't see anybody with it. The very next match, it was just, I died I was dying from the AMAX. I've seen that several times in a row.
I haven't seen it at all. That's crazy.
And I've seen that several times in a row. I would switch over to, let's say, I'm trying to look at another one that I built trying. Let me go over here to my loadout truck quick because I changed some things up. Of course, the Grawl you're starting to see. You still see the M4. I don't see it hardly ever. Started running the M4 a little bit. Ran into it more often than I generally see. It seems to be whatever I'm playing with. Now, granted, it could be just coincidence. You can't say the MP5 because the MP5 is generally, everybody's going to run it. I was trying the Striker 45. I've not run into it. I've not had a coincidence to where I've run into people running the Striker 45. It's generally the AR. Especially, all right, for an example, I've not been running the Kilo. Kilo is probably in my top 3 right now. I've not been running it, and I would almost bet, $100 bill on it. I run the Kilo tonight. I'm going to run into people that are running the Kilo.
Okay, so live chat chipped in this, and they said they think it's what's trending, not necessarily what you're running.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
But I have to ask, is the AMAX / Galil, is it trending right now? Because if it is, I'm missing something.
Yeah, I agree because it's it's a weapon that's been out for a little while, and so it's not something that. What you take when it dropped? I ran it. I built a class. I ran it. I enjoyed it until they nerfed it, and when they nerfed the range on it, I kind of dropped it. I said, all right, I'm done fooling with it, and so. Is it just made a comeback all of a sudden? Because I know the exclusive ace is extremely popular, and millions of views, and I think he's got right at 1 million subscribers. May have more than that. I don't know the stats on that. I don't keep up with that, but I know he's an extremely popular COD YouTube guy, and maybe a lot of people had seen that video since season 5 started, and they're like, hey, we're going to start running the AMAX more. I can't say that's the one. That's partially the reason I was like, all right, I'm going to he was running it, showing some things about it, showing some of the stats, and I was like, oh, I'm going to build a class and run it again. Like I told you earlier, is it a coincidence, or does Doug does he have some substance to his theory?
And are we seeing too much influence from these guys that are big streamers influencing the little guys like us to try new stuff? Are they doing it? Are they doing it and sitting back in their own personal discords and being like, do you see all these idiots trying out the Galil?
Yeah, I guarantee you there's some to it, that's for sure, because Doug posted a tweet out about the ISO that he had built, and he's like, you're going to regret talking bad about it. And I've not personally seen him running a ton, and I gotta say also, I've not watched a ton of Twitch here lately, so I can't say for certain that he's not running it over the MP5. I know when the money's involved, they're running Bruin MP5. And I know he was trying to. It seemed like he was trying to break the meta because he was still running the Galil. He was almost refusing to run the Bruin. But I think he even come around and started running the Bruin himself. He had to.
Doug is, and I just said, did they have too much influence? Doug is the reason why I ran the Uzi. Doug was an Uzi runner at the beginning, and I was thinking to myself, if Doug is running it, it's probably on up there. And so I started running. I maxed it out, and I still like the Uzi. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna run the Origin like some people we know.
Yeah,
Rufus. But with that
garbage.
said, I'll try a Uzi out every now and then.
That comes back to the lack of variety. I mean, if you get the weapons close in each category, then there is just like the AK. You better believe that if they buff that, all the pros are going to it. I mean, it slaps. But right now, it's not viable at all. Unless you run into more. I mean, you're going to get accused of hacking. I'm going to accuse you of hacking if you're running the AK. I mean, because it's hard to control. I've tried different build outs of it. I've tried all kind of different setups with it to get away from just your typical long barrel extended mags, and I just can't compete with it. I'm not gonna
insta assume that people are hacking with a stock AK-47. I'm just not gonna.
No, I mean, if it's ground loot, no, agreed. But
I'm not talking about ground loot. I'm talking like no. If you have a Damascus AK-47 and you're backing it up with a Damascus Car 98, I'm assuming that you're hacking.
Now now we run into a guy the other night that was running. I'm gonna go over here and look at it right quick. I think it was the SA-87 is what he was running.
That's a ground loot right now.
Yeah, but it wasn't ground loot. He had a build out for it, and because me and Bob Lee were talking about it, and I was like, Bob Lee, he's like, he is thumping us with an SA-87, and that was his loadout. Now I of course went through and got platinum for all that stuff, and multiplayer. I had it set up to where I enjoyed running it. I mean, I didn't trash it.
Multiplayer and Warzone are two totally different games.
No, you're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, the only one that I've not maxed out because I didn't have to was the Holger. It's still just a level 26, so I didn't have to max it out. But all the others are maxed out. The M91's not bad. The MG34 really and truly, now granted we're talking multiplayer, so I didn't have any issues with those. But now I'm not going to run them in Warzone. Too clunky.
Mobility is too important.
Yep. What else you got on your notes?
I've really covered everything that I'd like to cover. I know, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for being here. Tonight's episode's kind of bounced a little bit all over the place. That's because we don't really have a whole lot to talk about, with no good changes coming about. No new metas. I mean, other than a FAMAS that's broken, that's about it. That's the only thing that's really going on, and that's at the moment. That is literally today. I suggest and I encourage each and every one of you that listens to the podcast to first and foremost go follow us on our socials. It's the best way to keep up with us. We've got Discord, we've got Twitter. I've got Twitch. Puff doesn't have Twitch, but I do. Also, all these other guys that you hear us talking about, Mr. O, make sure you go follow him on Twitch. He also has Twitter. Mr. Official USPS is his full name. We call him Mr. O. But with that said, get out there, give us some content. Get out there, find something that is not working for you, that is working for you. Find a glitch in the game that is bothering you. Tell us about it. We'll try to find it too, and then we'll talk about it. We love to play this. We love to play this game, no matter how much it frustrates us. No matter how much that we sit here and bash it, because we think that this game has the potential to be the best, and there's a reason. There's a reason for that. I know that we do love it, but no, I don't have anything else on the docket. I think it's been a really good episode.
Yeah, I'm going through looking at the FAMAS right now. I'm not even building a class for that dude.
But you know that I've ran my highest kill game was with the FAMAS.
It was with the FAMAS, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I've not.
And that was before all this mess. That was me, because I like the triple burst gun. I do.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that you're not seeing as much as the FAL.
No, they nerfed it out. They nerfed it out of existence, which it needed to be.
I mean, I've not seen that as much as often, it's kind of disappeared. I mean, I've not played tonight, so I'm not saying I'm ready to get shotgun blast from halfway across the map because that's what it looks like is fixing to start happening.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that's all I got, brother.
That's all I got, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Warzone Joes with Hagen Puff. From the bottom of our hearts, straight to yours. Good evening, good night, good morning. We'll see you next time.
Peace.